Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Fabulites. I've got questions for you. What opens with lots of sighs and what closes with lots of thighs? If you guessed Married at First Sight season, I don't know, episode 2, then you're correct. Thank you so much for clicking on the video and sticking around to see how we get from opening to closing. I'm Angela, and the channel is Be Fabulous You. Let us proceed. So this is the wedding episode of Married at First Sight. So we had pre-marriage and pre-first sight. Pre-marriage and pre-first sight. I don't know what that means. Oh, this is before the actual marriage has happened. And this is before, they get married at first sight. They still haven't seen each other. So Ryan and Jacqueline. Ryan is 29. How old is Jacqueline? I don't remember. But the people are waiting. There are lots of sighs. It's like a pressured filled situation. We inhale it and exhale in the audience. We don't know what's going to happen. Folks aren't sure if she's coming. The dad tells her to relax and breathe. She's stressed out. She doesn't know. Ryan, so anyway, she comes down the aisle. We find out Ryan, marriage, loyalty, trust, happy, sad, lost the love of his life, woman, and multi-job guy. And Jacqueline is like, I don't know what that, I guess that's some stuff Ryan was saying, that, marriage is loyalty and trust to him during the happy times and the sad times. He has lost the love of his life. And he's the a woman type guy and a multi-job type guy. And Jacqueline is like, what if he doesn't like me? And when she comes down the aisle, she knocks his socks off. And she thought that he was cute too. And I'm like, whoo, because that's kind of the first, that first impression. It seemed like sometimes people have a hard time recovering if they see somebody and they be like, ew. And when you have met people in the real world, you can almost assume that they're attracted to you. But this is like a sight unseen type situation. So it's a little stressful. So, her folks want him to know that Jacqueline is a thoughtful, giving, world-class cuddler, and his folks want her to know that Mr. Ryan is compassionate, he's a great communicator, and he's hardworking and dedicated. And then the folks is crying during the ceremony and after the wedding and clutching pearls, and weddings are beautiful. And this, married at first sight thing, it's a little awesome, like awe-inspiring, just like outside of the realm of our experience for the most part in this country. And when it was time for them to kiss, he grabbed her by the face for that kiss. And I was like, dang. So anyway, then we have Shawnice and Jeffy. That's the black couple. And they're both caretakers from very large families. And Jeffy is introducing himself to her family, which was really sweet. Like when he came out, he's like, hi, I'm Jeffy. Hi, I'm Jeffy. Hi, I'm Jeffy. Hi, I'm Jeffy. Her granddad didn't say anything. I don't know if he was just shocked or he was processing. But then after he didn't say anything to Jeffy, when Jeffy introduced himself to, granddad of Shawnice, the granddad said to his companion, he said, he not going to make it. And then the lady, Miss Ladybug, Shawnice, is walked down the aisle to marry Mr. Jeffy by her dad and her stepdad, which is really nice. It seems like she has strong relationships with men in her life. That's always important. It makes a difference. It's a blessing. And they like each other's looks. Yay, again, another situation. And then Mama of Jeffy is like, everybody wait. And we saw this in the preview, so we don't know what's going to happen. Is she going to act a fool? Is she gonna act up? What's gonna happen? She says, everybody wait, this is my son. And then her name is Laura. Mama Laura says, this is a blessing belt. And she gives it to Miss Shawnice, or ties it around her waist. It was so sweet. It was very sweet. I knew that woman wasn't gonna act up. And then Shawnice's folks want Jeffy to know that, that Shawnice's huge smile is obvious, but it matches her huge heart, which is not obvious, and her huge her, she hugs spontaneously. And then she is affectionate, doesn't she show that later on? And then Jeff D, his family wants Miss Shanice to know that he's genuine, he's wholehearted, and he also has a smile that lights up the room. And then I'm kind of in tears at this point, like, oh, it's so sweet, it's so beautiful. And they wrote their own vows for each other as well. And it's nice. I'm just looking at all the beautiful black and brown folks in the audience there for the wedding. It's like, oh, it's so pretty. Then we have Miss Molly and Jonathan. John is the unemployed. John Doe, I got to remember that because I kept not remembering what his name was. And she wishes that her dad could be there for the wedding, but her mom walks her down the aisle, and he's the same height as her in heels. So she likes that, and she likes his looks, and he likes her look. She was concerned, I guess, that he would be shorter than her. So I don't know how tall she is. But we find out from his family and friends, and I love this. I think this is a new addition. I don't remember it from before, that he's a man of great character and strength. Then they both mention adventures in their vows. He really likes her looks. In the chat time right after the wedding, Molly is like, so, what do you do? What's your day job? And I'm like, because that's one of the things he was worried about talking. And it's like, well, I guess we gonna get this out the way right now. We ain't gonna have to wait and worry and wonder. We gonna get it out the way. And he's like, that's a fun story. And I worked in finance, and I literally lost my job because of this show. But he has had several interviews, and Molly is like, oh, I'm not worried. He's super smart. And I'm like, okay, I mean, what you gonna do now? You done married the man. There ain't no point in worrying. You just gotta support him, and you'll figure out what figuring out is. And then we have Miss Jacqueline and Ryan, and he's like, you are my little princess, and you complete my fairy tale. And I was kind of like, little princess? She better be your queen. Is that your daughter? I don't understand. But, are you a prince or are you a king? You know how black folks, we be talking about king and queen. Princess is for little girls. But anyway, and then we have Jeff T and Shanice, and he tells her that his mom wasn't for it. So he was surprised when she came with the belt. What was the blessing belt? And I was kind of like, no, Jeff D, don't tell her. But I guess it's good he got it out the way. And Shanice she ain't really seemed bothered by it. She ain't seemed hurt, which I guess is understandable because you marry, it's an unusual situation. So yeah, everybody's not going to be down for it. She's not bothered. She says that, she's been single for 4 years, and that masturbation has gotten her through. And Jeff D is like, I teach children. And she like, well, I'm just going to tell you how it is. And he like, well, slow pitch it to me. And I'm like, uh-oh. Because then we already see in the previews that she was lap dancing on him. So I was kind of like, oh, Lord. Okay. So then we have photos. This is the photos, like, when you get married and you take photos of the bride and groom. And so, so far so good for all three. No one has gone down. No one has expressed that they're like dissatisfied with how somebody looks. So that's good and exciting. And they seem to be getting along and liking each other. And when they chat after the feud, we like, okay, this is going to be some, not only married at first sight, but love at first sight. But it's TV, so we know it's gonna be some drama, but it ain't no drama yet. Okay, so and we like it. I like to see the love. I like to see the love. Okay, so then the photographer he's taking pictures of the different groups, and when it's Shanice and Jeff D's time, the photographer is like, how about a kiss? And Jeff D and Shanice are both like, which surprised me because I had kind of gotten the impression from the preview and from what Miss Masturbation that she had just been like, yes, blah, blah, blah. But she was like, I don't know him. They a little nervous, and she offers him her cheek to kiss. He's shy about talking about sex and shy about kissing. So I expect, and that's how he is. We see that. And then we're at the receptions for, after the wedding, you have the receptions. So Molly has a tattoo on her back, I notice. Molly is married. I don't know who Molly is married to. Molly is married to John Doe, Molly and John Doe. And folks feel like, they seem like they've known each other for a while. Like they have really good rapport and chemistry, Molly and John, at least to the outside eye. And I think one or both of them said that they felt really comfortable with the other. And then I see that Shawnice has tattoos too. And on the first dance, it's like a slow dance, and Shawnice is like, I want some bump and grind, and she grinding on him. I'm like, girl, slow your roll. But I mean, everybody has a personality, and all she can do is be her. So I guess be you. Be you. Be fabulous, you, Miss Shawnice. And then we have the wedding speeches, and Molly and John, I just wrote unemployed guy, Molly and John Doe, he realizes during the wedding speeches that her dad has made his transition. He hadn't realized that before. And then, when Ryan and his wife, when it's time to go back to their wedding and see speeches, Ryan proposes. He get down on his knee and ask her to marry him. But it's already a foregone conclusion, sir, because you just got married. But anyway, it was sweet. It was cute. And then I'm kind of like, who's the MC? I guess the show provided the MC, but Mama gives a speech. I think Mama of Shawnice gives a speech to Jeffy, and Shawnice's mom is like, well, I'm just gonna call you Jay because I can't pronounce your name, which I didn't appreciate. But my mother's like, well, maybe she saw his name written down and didn't know how to pronounce it and didn't want to butcher it, so she just said Jay. I just kind of feel like Jeff. It's easy to say Jeff, and that's really close to Jeff T. It's it's not that hard to pronounce. But we've been hearing it. She might have seen it. So we'll give her the benefit of the doubt. Because we got to respect each other's, respect each other. And names are important to me. Well, she says she's just going to call him Jay. And, she's kind of teared up. And she's just saying she really wants someone to love her daughter for who she is in the inside, not for her dialed up for the dialed up, fixed up bride Shanice, but for who she is. Then we have like the family and friend sections. That's what the show is calling it. So Shawnice and Mama Laura, Laura is Jeffy's mom, and Shawnice is like, thanks so much for, the belt. That was really, really sweet. And the mama's like, we were praying, and they hug, and it was a little awkward, but I felt like, everybody received everything good. And it is awkward. Y'all don't know each other. And it's like, I'm married to your son and you married to my son, and it's a lot to absorb, and you got to process and all of that. And then Molly is like, things seem too good to be true, and she's with one of her husband's friends or sisters, and she's like, you two seem to connect. That's Molly and John. And then Ryan with his wife's mom, Jacqueline's mom. Everybody is happy at the reception and with the wives' looks and how everyone is getting along. We talk about that. Then Shawnice has a special request for her husband, she says, but she's giving him a lap dance. So I don't know if her special request was for him to let her dance for him. And I didn't really understand her decision to do that, just having met someone and, his mom is there and, but I guess she just, again, I just need to affirm, be you, girl, do you. And she's giving him a lap dance, and his mom is like, and he's like, oh, and he's showing his hands like, I'm not touching anything. Like, he feels really uncomfortable. It's obvious. He's not like, whoa, come on, give it to me, baby. He's kind of like, And then he even says in his interview that he's worried about his mom being there, and he's worried about things happening that he can't control. I felt so bad for him. He seems so young. And then Miss Shawnice, I'm just saying Miss Shawnice is ready. I don't know if he ready, but she ready. And she's held out for 4 years, and it seemed like she don't want to hold out for 4 more minutes, let alone a minute more. She like, let's get this show on the road. So that's that. And then we hear the reverend, the black guy who's one of the matchmakers, who's a reverend. He's like, each couple has an immediate physical attraction to each other. And then it's like folks are asking if they're having sex tonight, different at different weddings and stuff. And then we see Ryan and Jacqueline leave. Then we see Jeff T and Shanice leave. And then we see Molly and John leave. Did I get his name? Is the man's name Jeff T? I hope I got it right. And then we see Jeff T carrying Shanice over the threshold. That's very sweet, and everybody getting ready for bed. And then we see Molly and John is in his undies. He's showing us full thigh and chest, and and Molly is in her tank and shorts. So she's showing a little thigh, but she's keeping it modest for the cameras, but we don't know what's gonna happen. But that's it. So the weddings have happened. Everybody went down the aisle, which we knew they would, because if the people don't go down the aisle, what kind of show you got? And then I noticed, I don't know if all three couples were on a boat, but at one point I'm like, oh, they on a boat. Because if the people change their mind and try to run off, I guess production is like, you can only run so far. We gonna get some footage. You ain't gonna run away from us. We got you on a boat. Because some of the settings, at least for two of the weddings, look the same. So I think they might all have been on a boat. And I'm like, I'm for it, production. But that's what I got. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today is the best day ever, and you are the greatest. So be you, be fabulous, you. And like, comment, subscribe, share, and all of that other good stuff. All right, let's sing it out. Be you, be fabulous, you. Be you.